Hello, hello, hello. Hello, my internet peeps. Welcome to my channel. How are you? This is Scott Rideshare. So today I have a story to tell you that happened sometime last year, okay? And I hope you like this story as much as I get a laugh out of it. My passengers seem to like this story when I tell it. I drive early in the morning. I get out there at 5 in the morning. The reason I start 5 in the morning is initially when I started doing this, I was going to work. And what I would do is I would set the destination for work on the app, on the Uber app. And if there were any drives going from where I was to work, I would get that request, along the way. So I figured since I'm heading to work anyway, if I made gas money for the day, then that was a good thing. So I used to leave my house a little bit earlier than it normally took me to get to work and just drive straight to work. Then when I went full time with this, I went out at 7 in the morning, which is generally the time I went out to go to work. And I realized that my peak driving times diminished. It just, there wasn't too much after 9:30, 10 o'clock anyway. So it would be better, my time for making money was actually shorter. So I said, all right, let me go ahead and add another hour on. So I started going out at 6 in the morning. And it worked out great for me. I would turn on the app, and shortly after that, I generally would get a ride because people are trying to get to work. So also people going to the airport. So it worked out great. But last year, we got hit with a hurricane. And when the hurricane hit, I knew I needed to get gas. That was going to be my big issue until the gas lines improved. Because, I don't know if you noticed or not, but the hurricane was coming straight up to Florida. So what you had was some people hoarding gas, and some people were trying to get away. So they would fill up their tanks, and they would start driving, and then when they run out of gas, they would fill up the tanks again. And because of all of this that was going on, even though there was plenty of gas, there were always long gas lines. And the gas trucks kept rolling and rolling, but there were always long gas lines. And even some gas stations that actually ran out. But anyway, I got out early in the morning at 5 o'clock to get my gas so I could be ready to work by 6. And, sometimes I would be done by 5:15, sometimes 5:20, and then I could start working after that. Well, I started realizing that I was getting rides that early in the morning. So I said, all right, let me go out at 4:45, let me get my gas, and let me start working at around 5. I figured that should be about right. So after the hurricane, I considered my work day at 5. And what happened was I was driving one time, it was after the hurricane, and I picked somebody up from the Fort Lauderdale area, and I brought them down to Miami at 5 in the morning. And by the time we got there, it's like 5:30 or so, 5:33, and it's still dark out. And I get another request after I drop this person off. And, I'm not that familiar with Miami, and it was dark out. So I could tell you, I'm not really sure where exactly I was. But I was following the navigation system. And I turned down this residential street that had apparently no street lights for whatever reason. So the street itself was pretty dark. And on that block on my left-hand side supposedly was the house where I was supposed to pick up my passenger. And I'm trying to see the house, and I can't see the house numbers. I know people, when they get out there and they look at their house, they usually look at it during the daytime. They're not checking it out in the middle of the night to see what their house looks like. Most people aren't anyway. And in this particular case, there were no house numbers lit up. So I couldn't tell which house was what number. How the numbering system went, whether it went by 10s or whether it went by 20s or whatever. It's different everywhere. So I said, all right, let me just go ahead and turn around, and I'll come back and I'll look again. And I have a little flashlight. It's not that bright, not like a spotlight like police officers use. But I have a little flashlight. Maybe I could use that to see the numbers. But as soon as I said, let me turn around, I saw a car coming in my direction, down the same street as me, opposite side. And I said, let me let this car pass first. Now again, remember, it's pitch black out. There are no street lights. So the only thing I could see was this car's headlights. And as I'm driving past them to turn around, drive past the person, I realized there's another car behind it. And I was like, okay, well, I'll wait for that car too. And I quickly realized there were 2 more cars behind it. So there was a total of 4 cars coming my way. And I'm thinking, it's 5:30 in the morning. This is a residential street. Why do you have 4 cars coming by at the same time? It was very weird to me. Anyway, I let the cars go by, okay? And I'm getting ready to turn around. And, I check my mirrors to make sure everything's safe. And I noticed that the first car, the person opened the car door. And I realized that the person is walking around with a flashlight, shining it around. And I realized that I'm sorry, let me go back a little bit. As I'm passing the cars, I realized that all 4 cars are Miami-Dade police. And I'm thinking, that's really bizarre. I'm thinking, 4 police cars coming by at the same time. It's very, very weird. Their lights weren't on. There were no sirens going, nothing. It was just 4 cars driving down the road, as far as you could tell. Anyway, I get ready to turn around, and I'm looking in my mirrors to make sure everything's okay. And I notice that the first car, the police officer has gotten out, and he's walking around with a flashlight, and he's shining it around. And the second car has also stopped, and that police officer has gotten out, and he's shining lights around. And I'm thinking to myself, wait a minute, these guys are looking for something at almost the exact spot I was supposed to pick up my passenger. And my choice was, at that point, to turn around and go back and see if I can get my passenger, or to do what I did, which was to cancel and take off. Now, to the person who I canceled on, okay, if you ever see this, which I doubt you ever will, one of 2 things was going on there that I could think of, okay? You were a legitimate passenger looking for a ride, hoping to get to work on time, and your driver just canceled on you. To which I have to say, when you talk at 5:30 in the morning, your street lights are out, light up your damn house so people can find you, please. And also, on top of that, if it's 5:30 in the morning, you should kind of be outside or walking out the door, or you shouldn't be still inside. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's bad enough for drivers. We lose money when you guys aren't ready, because time is money. So it's worse when there are no lights on. It's hard to find the house. Get your ass outside the house and wait for us. So anyway, that's the one thing, is if you're a legitimate passenger. Number 2, if you had just committed a crime and you're trying to use me as your getaway, shame on you. I am not your getaway driver. You did not involve me in anything like that. And if you were guilty of something, I hope you got caught, and I hope you got prosecuted. Oh my goodness. Anyway, I'm looking at this in my rearview mirror, and I said, you know what? I'm out of here. Took off. They're out there shining their lights out. It's pitch dark out. There's 4 cop cars there. I'm like, I'm out. Bye. Anyway, that happens to be one of my favorite stories I like to tell people, and I really hope you enjoyed that story. I also, take a look at the links down below. Okay, I have links for if you want to make some extra part-time money. You don't have to work at 5:30 in the morning. You do it after work. People are trying to get home from work. Some people are trying to go to dinner. Some people are coming home from dinner. So, you can do it around that time, a couple hours every day. You can pay off that bill, save up for your vacation, that good stuff. There's links for both Uber and Lyft. I would suggest picking one first and then doing that, getting the referral bonus that's involved, and then picking the other one and doing that and getting the referral bonus involved in that. You keep the first one off when you're working on the second one, so you only catch rides from the second one. And then once you get the two of them done, you'll have your referral bonuses, you'll have the money you made from, working your second job. You don't have bosses, you could just turn it on when you want to turn it on, turn it off when you want to turn it off, make the money that you want to make, depending on how many hours you want to put in. And there's also down below, there are links to, if you're a passenger, to be a passenger, if you want to use either one of the services, my recommendation is to use both services. You download both the apps, and the first one, you check one, and then when you see what the price is, you check the other one, see what the price is on that, and you go for the cheaper one for you. Anyway, there's also another link down below if you want to order your favorite driver. So there's a couple of links down below. Go ahead and take a look at them in my description box. If you like this video, if it was funny for you, please hit the subscribe button. There's a little bell next to it. Hit that bell notification. That gives you a notification whenever I post in a video. Now you would think that hitting the subscription button was just enough for that, but for some reason it doesn't work that way. I guess I don't know. I have no idea, but for some reason it doesn't work that way. So go ahead and do that down below, and also share if you like this video, if you thought it was funny. And then you could also comment. I'd love to hear comments on stuff like this. Just let me know what you think about it. Hope you enjoy it. Anyway, you have a great day, and this is Scott Rideshare.